live. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so I did CreepyCon for like a day with my friends. They invited me. Well, the main person over at, she also does Chocolate Fest. She reached out to me and was like, "Yeah, Chocolate Fest is a thing in January." She reached out to me. She was like, "I love your booth at Chocolate Fest, but can you basically make creepy stuff?" I was like, "My whole booth is pop culture, leaning more towards horror than
Oh, nice.
anything." And so she's invited me to do CreepyCon for
Ooh,
2025. So
Oh,
I
cool.
have 10 months to prepare, and I'm going to have the best booth there. I'm going to decorate it all crazy like, and I'm really excited. So I just wanted to tell you
Nice.
all that.
no, congrats, and definitely
Thank
let us
you.
know how that goes. I mean, I
Well,
know that's
it's
a
in
year
August,
away.
so.
I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna forget. I
Oh,
mean, I
I'm
can
not going
barely
to
remember
let
what
you
happened
forget.
yesterday.
I'm going to talk about this like every week.
Oh yeah, we'll let you fucking plug that shit. Where's creepy? What is CreepyCon?
Yeah,
CreepyCon
tell.
is basically, it's like a Comic Con, but it's horror. And like last August, they had the guy who plays Terrifier, the clown in Terrifier,
Oh
and they had
God,
like a
Art
lot
the
of the
Clown.
like Rob Zombie. Yeah, they had a lot of the Rob Zombie cast and crew there, and like from his movies, and a lot of authors, and then you had like just plain vendors that just really focus on horror related stuff, and it was just so much fun. People came dressed up. I have never seen so many cool outfits ever. Like there was this one guy who literally came as Pyramid Head from Silent Hill,
Damn.
and he had
Nice.
such huge like platforms on. This guy had to been like 8 foot tall,
My God.
and he had to have people walk around him to make sure he didn't fall. It was just absolutely amazing. I had a blast, and so I'm excited to do the whole. It's 3 whole days, and I'm excited for it.
And where does this take place? If are you allowed to say?
It's in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we're doing
So
a year ahead promotion for you.
yeah.
Anyone that
Hey,
starts
it's
this
just the season.
video next year, go see Mel at CreepyCon in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Well, I do plan on making a lot of videos because this last time I was just a guest in somebody's booth, and so this upcoming time I'm gonna make so many videos
Nice.
and put them out there for everybody to see because I am just completely, like I said, floored by the stuff you see there. They even have
I
those
bet.
people that hang from their skin from the
Ew.
ceiling. Now, I don't go over there to that section. They were directly behind us, and I was like, I can't even look there.
What?
Yeah, I can't handle
That
that.
section?
Like in real life?
Yeah, yeah, like they. You guys remember that Strangeland with D. Snyder, and how he would like hook the hooks through his body and he'd hang? Yeah,
Is
there's
this like a
some
part
people
of the
who do
con where
that.
you can do that?
Yeah, well, no, these people are professionals,
Oh, I was
but
like, that
but they do
sounds
that.
horrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. I can't. I don't even go in that section. I'm like, I can't watch them do it. It's like an hour long of them doing all these things, and I'm like, I can't do that. It's kind of
I
like
mean, as
the.
long as they're professional.
Yeah, you remember the Jim Rose Circus of Freaks? I don't know if you ever heard about that, but it was like a bunch
Yeah.
of people just got together. They hanged like things off of certain body parts that you should not hang things off of, and
Oh
like
yeah.
basically it's those people and contortionists and stuff like that in this one section. And I'm just like, yeah, y'all do your thing. I'll stay over here in my section.
But yeah, before we get started on this, speak, you brought up Terrifier. We Soto. I did cut the audio to one spin, and so I hopefully we'll finish that Friday. But we decided because of all the love, hate, and funny comments we've been getting to on TikTok with with Art the Clown, not being on the fucking Mount Rushmore of horror killers. We are gonna, and it's under 60%. We are watching Terrifier. We're doing this. I'm like, let's see what the kids today, let's see why they love this film. So
I mean,
that
I'm
that
open
that
to it. I'm
yeah, I
open
mean,
to
we'll
it.
see, and then we'll make fun of it, or it could be good. You know what I mean? We have yet to see it, so we'll go
I
from
mean,
there.
Cocaine Bear I thought was better than I thought it was going to be, and
Well, that was going to be a comedy, so
Well, that's
uh,
because it's based on a true story. No, but
yeah,
like
it definitely felt
Terrifier
like a
was
documentary.
huge.
Oh,
I
it's got
personally
like
have,
three movies, right?
yes,
yeah,
they just
I've
released the
never
third one.
seen Terrifier whatsoever. But
Oh,
there's
I'll be
this
seeing it
girl
this
that
week.
I pretty much say that she's like my daughter. I met her in vending, we're doing vendor shows, and she comes to all the cons, and she was walking around dressed up like him, a female version of Art the Clown, and she had like the trash bag and everything with the bleach and everything. And I was like, "Have you seen?" She goes, "You've not seen the movie?" And I was like, "No." She goes, "Oh, they're so bad, they're good." And
Oh,
she's
that
like,
could be
"You
up our
It
alley.
is.
definitely
We
need
will
I mean,
we'll
to."
they
find
are
out.
free. It's
Yeah,
free on Tubi.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, all right, shall we get started? And before we do, Hank, if you're still in the chat, thanks for joining.
Hank.
We're gonna do our little intro video, and we're gonna talk some fun Halloween. We're gonna have happy
Thank you so
moments,
much,
unlike the
Hank.
yeah. So, but yes, we are now officially gonna get started, and I'm gonna play the intro here from a song that True Disney Villain did for us. So. If you enjoy light-hearted humor, if you enjoy chats about random things, if you enjoy gameplay with great commentary, then I have the channel for you. Oh, Soto and Chad are here, so never fear. Subscribe today to watch them play. If you love movies, then these guys are the best, discussing movie flaws and wins in depth. Subscribe today to help these guys pave the way. Talking about TV and movies or just random stuff you eat. Catch up, yes or no, had me dying on my feet. Hell divers, warriors, these two are squashing bugs and blowing stuff up. Seems to be their cause. If you like what you see, then join them today, and together we will all grow day after day. Well, here we are, Soto and Chad show, and this is like the ninth live one we've done, Soto. I mean, if we take
Wow.
out the sports talks, we were trying, we were still doing that. We're just moving that to Friday because, we miss doing these, and it's Halloween, and we wanted to do more spooky talk and Halloween talk. So, yeah, nine. That sounds weird, but
9.
last time,
My lucky number.
yeah, we released a video on Monday where we had a conversation with our good friends Melly Playful and Tango 230, who are actually with us again today. How's it going,
I'm so
guys?
sorry.
I'm so
Hi.
sorry.
Hey, we're good.
I'm so sorry. Wow.
Well, more sorry maybe
I'm
for
trying
the
not to drink
conversation,
anymore.
but we talked about the Mount Rushmore killers, and that conversations past us, and we were like, why don't
Yeah.
we just do some happy talk? Things like when we were kids and
Hmm.
the memories of Halloween. So this might be a more light-hearted, storytelling than maybe other podcasts of the past. But
Yeah.
first of all, how is everyone's Halloween seasons going? Mel Tengu, how are you guys doing?
Go ahead, Tinker.
It's doing good. Tons of candy at work.
I know, right?
I know it's
He's
like
so
it's the excuse
emotionless.
for adults.
Tons of candy at work.
I
Oh,
mean,
It's
that's
like,
what it's
can I
all
say
about. It's really that
can I
simple.
say real
What
quick
else do they say?
your intro?
yeah.
I never noticed before, but was there some Jeopardy thing on there?
So yeah, you are actually 100% right, Tengu. That
Okay.
was from a past video, which was actually because of Mel, believe it or not. But we reviewed No Holds Barred. It was one of our run and taste about a year ago, maybe I don't remember, maybe earlier this year. I think that was the first one we did this year, so back in January. And a joke me and Soto did, a running gag, and a lot of these running tastes is this movie worse than Dream a Little Dream? And
Oh my
we
God.
had that, so I took that conversation out because a lot of times it doesn't make the final cut or I do something, but I took that audio and I made it into a Jeopardy thing. So the whole thing is me asking. So yeah, so Soto's like the contestant, and actually I'm like Ken Jennings. I almost said Trebek, but and the whole idea is like which movie was worse and stuff like that. Is this the worst movie we've ever seen? So yes, you are 100% correct. I was going through thumbnails, and then I was also going through pictures I made for like it was for a project idea, but it never happened. So, but I still had them all on my phone. So we have like Dumb and Dumber, we can have Bernie's, Jaws. So I'm like, well, now I got the perfect time to put this shit in because it doesn't make sense. Neither does our channel.
It
So I'm like,
doesn't.
and the song is just like, there we go.
The
But yes,
song is just reflects that too so well. It's just like if you want to then watch TV and then go for a walk and then hear them talk about outer space. It's Soto and Chad. They're so random.
oh, well, that is the channel, and that that is our algorithm. We will get so many views on a
I can't
Star
deny it.
Wars or this, and then no one loves the wizard.
Or Turtle
We'll
Dicks. Turtle
yes,
Dicks, Just
that
rename
was
the
a good one.
channel Turtle Dicks.
But anyhow, let's get past all that. I get. I wanted to ask a few fun questions and stuff like that, and just talk about most of us grew up in the '80s, '90s. Went trick or treating, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
Times maybe some of us are still trick or treating. I don't know. Tenku's got to find a way to get more candy. Because he's not getting enough at work. It sounds like.
So he's
Um,
gonna stalk the
It's
streets at
too
night.
much.
it's just
It's walls of candy, man.
I can't eat my way out of this crap. But Soda brought up a point, or a text. He's like, he just wanted to talk about costumes. So I guess I guess let's just start with what were some of your costumes that you wore as a kid? Mel, we're gonna start with you. What were some of your favorite costumes that you can remember? Because, I know a lot of us don't remember the '80s too much, but yeah, let's start with you.
So I don't remember any costumes that I wore till like third grade. Like anything prior to third grade, I don't remember ever dressing up. I mean, I'm pretty sure we did, but I don't remember it. But from third grade until I didn't dress up anymore, I remember I was always a witch. I always painted my face green. I was always the Wicked Witch of the West, and
Mm.
or is it yeah? I always did that, and I think that honestly, it was just because it was cheaper for us just to get some makeup. And I do remember there was one time like we ran out of the green paint, and my mom's like, "Oh, I've got blue," so I went with blue face. One year,
Nice.
like I begged her, I was like, "Please don't, I don't want to be the witch this year. I want to wear a mask." Because I didn't want the paint on my face. And she was like, "You're going to be
Yeah, it
hot."
sucks.
And I ended up getting the rubber mask. And sure enough, she was right. I sweat. I was
Mm.
miserable. And then the next year, I was like, I'll be the witch again because I didn't want to wear the mask. So it's just that's all I did up until out of high school. And then I would do like the black cat thing. And while my friends were like Michael Myers and stuff, like parties. But that's all I remember.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the masks. I remember when I was a kid, it wasn't the rubber mask you put on. It was one with like that cheap rubber band in the back. You had just that plastic, just the face mask a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So it didn't
Oh
go over your
yeah.
whole head because I know I did like He-Man, I did Optimus Prime. I know I'm missing a few, but they're just like cheap costumes, and I loved them. It was fun. I don't know the last time I trick or treated was actually I was 12 years old, and even me and my friend Brian, we're like, are we too old for this? Because obviously our parents were off doing other things, blah blah blah, and I'm like, fuck it. We're like, we want candy. So like you, Mel, you did which that year we were hobos. We were bums because all we had to do is find old clothes. We could dirty up our faces. I think his sister helped us, at least brown our faces a little bit. Look like bums basically. And I had as a prop like an exploding cigar. And I'm a 12-year-old going out with a cigar. I'm like, I don't know if this is allowed nowadays, but that was the last time I
Nowadays.
know.
Risque.
But Soto,
Risky
you brought up the
business.
question. What about you? What were some of your memories of like dressing up?
Same as you with the first one. I mean, I remember I had a really badass. There was a cartoon called Silverhawks, and it was
I
done by
remember
the
that.
same people that did Thundercat. So I don't know if it's Rankin Bass officially, but it had that vibe. Uh, so I was a Silverhawk with the shitty ass rubber band in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember walking up to an older kid. Now I was probably like 5 or 6 years old, and this older kid was just terrifying. He was dressed up like Freddy Krueger, and I'm like, uh oh, because Freddy Krueger at my age, at 6, 5 or 6, was like my nemesis. And he just like put his knives in my Silverhawk face and was just like, Freddy Krueger can kill Silverhawk. And I was like, I am the uncoolest kid that has ever existed, and I need to run away. and that was terrifying. So that was like one of my earliest Halloween costume memories. After that, like in high school, I was kind of going through a phase. So like every year I dressed up like the Crow because I was going through some shit. So I was basically the Crow would come out in the mid '90s. I got obsessed with it. I have like a fucking painting of Brandon Lee like right here in my living room, like from the Crow. Um,
That's cool.
and I just did it like 4 years in a row. And then in college, I would have like a suit, and I'm not going to talk about the fucking whatchamacallit, Chad, Point Break night. Okay,
Sorry.
I won't. Speaking of Halloweens that cannot be
how about
talked about,
we'll get to that story maybe later on in this, but let's keep
maybe
talking about
later.
dressing.
That's for
But
adults.
well, we're gonna get to that.
I had a suit, and then I would dress my face up like a skull, and that's it. I've never been very creative with costumes. I hate face paint, so I'm right with you, Mel. Like it's just I didn't want to deal with it because every time I would wipe off my Eric Draven makeup, I would look like I'd have eyeliner, and my eyelashes are way too long for that. It's way too androgynous, so I stopped doing that.
What about you, Tengu? What were some of your earliest costume memories? Before we get to some of the adult memories we have.
Oh no.
So, when I was younger, I think this was around like kindergarten, first and second grade. I dressed up as Bert, like Bert and Ernie, because I remember
It's so
picking up
wholesome.
the yeah, I remember picking up the costume. It had like the mask, but then it wasn't like the whole suit. It was, or at least the body part was more like the apron thing that you
Mm.
just like wrap around yourself.
Yeah.
So that was that, and then after that, um, I dressed up as Batman for a
Nice.
little while, and it was one of those costumes where you'd have to like kind of like sew it. So then my mom made the costume
Wow.
essentially for me. Yeah. Um, the mask was a little weird because like it didn't have any kind of like shape to it, like where the nose would be for Batman. So it was essentially just like a flat
Oh,
flat on my face.
It's so
But
strange.
I didn't care. I was Batman.
No, of course. Exactly. It's a
Um,
vibe.
and then I think the last one I remembered I made myself. It was
Wow.
because I liked the Rocketeer
Oh,
when I was a kid,
Jennifer
and
Connelly's in it.
yeah,
Big crush of mine.
um, and Nazis are in it too, and
Not a crush of mine.
yeah. uh, so I, as a kid, I used to like building stuff with cardboard, and was trying to make the helmet, but in terms of like the resources I had, all I had was like cardboard and stuff. So I tried to really shape it, but I couldn't. So essentially, what I was wearing was like a bucket on my head with a fin on the back.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, but like I spray painted it and everything, at
Oh,
least
nice.
to the color that I thought it was. I made like his jetpack out of
Hmm.
2 liter like
Oh,
soda bottles and
nice.
stuff. So I did that. I like strapped it on. I didn't have his jacket or anything. I just had like jeans and stuff, and I I wore that. I just put it
Casual
on, and
Rocketeer.
yeah. And
Gonna be
apparently
comfy.
that day we had some kind of Halloween parade where all the fifth graders and stuff would go around the block or like whatever.
Oh God, that sounds
So hold on.
traumatic.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to ask something, not to interrupt Tengu, but you just brought up a point that I wanted to ask. I know we all grew up, different areas, stuff like that. Did anyone else's school, elementary school, parade the kids, like first, second, third graders wearing their costumes? Did you get paraded as a kid that you remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do
Uh,
remember that.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I
Pretty
mean,
sure that's why Freddy got me. I'm pretty sure that's what happened
He
there.
was looking through the line.
yeah.
He's like, I'm going to get that kid right there.
He was an older
That'll-
sixth grader who was like, "This bitch," and his fucking Silverhawk fucking costume. Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
because
shit was scary.
well, I at first, because I remember the first time, like you showing off the costume, and I think it was the second or third, whatever it was for me. Like, and I don't know why I don't know if we didn't have the costume. My mom forgot. I went to school without a costume. So I was one of those kids at the back of the
That's
line that
sad.
had to wear. It was so sad because here I am
Oh,
parading, but I don't have a costume, and they're like, "Yep, these are the kids." I'm like,
oh,
"Why?"
the
And
shame.
then you're
The
going through every
shame.
room because in my school, or it was first to sixth grade, and it was only the first, second, third graders. So they would line, basically like they had the hall, and then I was just like, "Yep," and then I was like, "You know what? I'm too old." Even then I'm like, "This is stupid. This is embarrassing." But it's like, what can I do? I'm like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, but I'm like,
You
the
were
teachers
an
are
NPC.
patrolling me out. Oh my.
Wow, I'm so sorry, man. That's deep trauma.
It is. It's still there. It's still there. Um,
No wonder you're so salty. God, I'm sorry.
well, I'm a New Englander. Maybe maybe Americans are salty in general, but we're salty up here regardless. We're always pissy
True.
about something. Um,
It's the weather.
so let's change. Obviously we'll skip over Soto's bad Halloween unless someone wants to really hear this story. Hint,
Nah,
hint.
nah,
But
nah.
anyhow, what
No.
changed? When did we? Well, Soto. I mean, I'll leave the table for you if you really want to talk about this, or I'll gloss over
No,
it.
no, no. That's a whole other like Halloween special. That's October 27th.
Yes. Anyhow, we'll talk off air about
Mm-hmm.
that real quick. But
Mm-hmm.
what were some of the adult costumes that we can talk about? What were some of the things? Because I know Mel mentioned I mean, I hate to say this, Mel, because she in high school she said she was the cat. Why do a lot of high school girls, college girls always do the cats and witches? But what were some of the more
I
family
knew what you were
friendly
gonna.
things you guys dressed up as adults? If I can ask.
Well, to answer the thing about the cat thing, like I just had a really long black dress, and all I did was just painted my nose black and then threw on with the ears.
That's
Yeah, that
more
works.
legitimate than what I mean, because you always hear about
Yeah.
the sexy cats and the sexy this, and then they're like, no,
Ooh,
no,
sexy
you,
cats.
you know what I'm talking about, but um,
Yeah.
because I don't know about you guys, but for us at work when we used to work for Blockbuster, we had to dress up. We didn't have to, but we did, but we dressed up as some characters from time to time. So,
Did we?
well, I know I did.
I was always high.
you well, actually, that wasn't for Halloween, but you pulled off Kratos one time, if you remember correctly.
What?
The Mortal Kombat release. You had the face
Oh
paint.
God, dude. I'm. I probably deleted that memory, so I just have to trust you. It's a
Well, I was
lot
John.
of lot of smoking and drinking I've done since then.
I was Johnny Cage because I'm like, oh, I not without the shirt because there's no way I'm pulling off without a shirt. I'm sorry, people, I can't do that. I don't have the muscles, but I just get the shirt and the Hollywood actor. But anyhow, let's start with you guys, Mel and Tengu. What were some of your more memorable adult costumes
I don't.
that you can talk
Oh
about?
gosh. Like really, just the
Like
cat.
rated X or adult?
No, we're not talking. That's why I said that we can talk about.
I had a friend that he was tall like Michael Myers, and he had like the Halloween mask. Like he ordered one of the legit ones, paid
The hell
thousands of
no.
dollars for this one, just so he could wear it like one time. He did the Dickies outfit, and I was like a victim of his, and we just walked around as
Oh
adults
God.
just to
Oh,
scare
that
the
sounds
little
awesome.
kids in the neighborhood. I was a hippie. Um, I was dressed up like a cowgirl. Just like basically, none of my stuff was the sexy stuff. It was just the fun stuff. Because I kind of do Halloween all year long. You know what I mean? Like
You're like, I'm
that's my
dressing up
thing. So
regardless.
yeah, so it's kind of like I don't even consider like when everyone's like, "Oh, it's Halloween." You heard me singing. It's the most wonderful time of the year because Halloween's my thing. Like October is my thing. Even my store does like the best during fall. Like I love fall so much, and so I just kind of like would dress up all year long.
Nice.
What about you, Tangu? Any other stories as you're an
Um,
adult?
I never dressed up as an adult. All the
Aww.
For Halloween, it was just all me as a kid. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds
That's
like you
gonna
got
have to
some
change.
cosplay in you though. Like you did try to do the Rocketeer thing, and there's a
I
lot of
did,
videos on
yeah.
YouTube that can help you with that.
If you
Yeah.
ever
I
want to
know
go back,
because I've seen
Tengu, you
them.
can do this. We believe in you.
I usually have to watch them like constantly. They're always on about how you can craft your own costumes and stuff. So I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
adult Rocketeer.
I don't know. I mean, I always thought
Get you that
about trying
jacket.
to see if I could like do it again, like as an adult. Just try to make it out of scratch or something like that.
That'd
At
be so
least the
cool.
helmet. Yeah, I thought that'd be kind
Yeah,
of cool.
they can show you on
But
YouTube, man. There's tons of ways.
Everything's
I'm sure
there.
somebody's done it.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, nothing as an adult. Yeah, it was all just when I was a kid. Never got invited
Would
to
you ever again, though? Would
parties.
you ever again? You want to find that part of your childhood?
I mean, I'm not really interested in it, honestly, but
Like
I
if you
mean,
invite to a Halloween party, you know what I mean?
yeah.
With people your
I mean,
age.
maybe, yeah. Maybe I just won't
Yeah.
even go to the party.
I couldn't have said it any better.
Well, I'll tell you because I mean, obviously with my daughter growing up, obviously it was fun kind of reliving Halloween because getting costumes for her, from baby as a ladybug. But then sometimes I dress up with her too. I mean, she did a cheerleader. I tried to dress up as a football player. I think, but I did the Godfather one year. I mean, I should say mobster, but I don't know. I think that helped me, have a little bit of fun. And yeah, Blockbuster. I don't know. So I know Soto will remember this one. One year I did dress as Napoleon Dynamite. But we're not
Oh,
allowed to
thank you.
talk about
Yeah.
that, right? We're not.
It's like
But I
Fight
also
Club.
did
No, we can
one.
talk around it. We just don't have to get into the details. That's all. We just have a very memorable Halloween story that we cannot talk about right now. We will not talk about
Until
right
I
now.
get a text on October 27th, correct? That's when we can talk about it. Um,
Maybe, and
maybe.
because it's always remember, never forget. It's a very important
Yes,
day.
yes. That's the text
Like
I
an
get every
embargo or
October
something?
27th. It's
It's
very.
kind of like an embargo. Yeah, we do talk like I remind Chad about it every year. I'm like October 27th because we both, boy, did we have an adventure that evening
So I'm trying so
in
hard not to
costume,
talk.
by
All
the
right,
way.
yes. I'm gonna, guys. This isn't a fun conversation. There's no funny story behind. I mean, we can laugh about it now, but I'm just. Anyhow, let's move on.
My God,
Let's.
it's a tragic situation. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Thank
Well, they're
God
here.
it
Everyone's
happened.
hearing this. They're like, "What's going on? What's
Do you
what?
know what?
How
It's
would you
called a
let it?"
tease, man. High level tease.
Yeah. I don't ever want to get that phone call again. Um, so we there was a conversation I had with a viewer a long time ago, coincidentally enough with Cynic as well, and we were talking about like favorite candy bars, and I
Mm.
figured this is a good way because we never got around to what our favorite candy bars
Okay,
was, and I
candy
know.
bars or candy? Because like
Well,
the
no, no,
80s
no,
killer
no,
thing
no.
was
Hold
confusing to
on.
me.
I'm leading to that.
Okay,
Yes, the
okay.
candy bar.
I
I'm
was
just saying, like,
scared.
don't know. Anyhow,
Mount
look, I
Rushmore
will
of
say
candy
I know
bars.
where the street was that gave the full size candy bars as a kid. We always hit that street. There was always one. And you might,
What?
yeah. I knew where the rich
God
neighborhoods
damn.
were. If you knew where they were, some of them just gave out so much shit. Candied apples, everything that my parents had to check for. But yeah, there is one street.
A
A few
full
rich
size
houses.
candy. What is
Oh,
even a full size candy bar?
well, we're older. We shouldn't know what those are. I mean, but we do. But anyhow, it got me
Everything's
thinking.
mini.
Obviously, since we're talking, but what were what were some of your more favorite? What were your favorite little candies that you got on Halloween? So yes, the little fun size bits, not the full size candy bars, because that might be a discussion for another day, or maybe we'll continue it. But what were you excited to get for Halloween? What were you looking for, and what were you trading away? Because I don't know, with siblings and stuff like that, but I traded away the candy I didn't like. So let's start with you. What were some of the candy that you look forward to on Halloween? What were your favorites?
I was big into chocolate. Oh God, which one did I remember liking a lot? Fuck, I like 100 grand. Ooh, I like all these ones too. I even like Almond Joy. Um, so I was leaving work today,
Everything in
and
that bucket.
so I'm leaving work today, and I have my little lunch bag, and I'm like the last person to leave the building. And as I'm walking out of the building, and I walk by the kitchen, there was like apparently some big meeting today, and there was just a bowl that looked just like this. And I shit you not, I stopped and I thought about it, and I just started grabbing handfuls and putting it into my lunchbox. And
You're
I
like, I'm not
brought that
judging.
home with me. I brought that home with me tonight. There was some Reese's in that shit. There was some Snickers. All this shit. I mean, I'd say as a kid, probably I leaned more towards like, I don't know, Sour Patch Kids and sour shit, like Skittles I really like. I really like Dots. I don't know
Uh,
why,
yeah, that's a
but I
weird
like
one.
Dots a lot. Like it's a strange one, but I liked it. Nerds. Oh, I love
Those are
Nerds.
good.
I could eat so many Nerds. There's like these Nerds gummy clusters now that are like
Oh
absolutely
my god.
disgustingly addictive. I can't eat them.
I can't stop the blue bag of
Oh
them. Oh
God,
my god. Oh, I
they're
can't
so
stop.
fucking crazy. They're out of control.
I've got like 5 bags in my thing right in my cabinet right now.
So there wasn't a lot of candy I didn't like. Probably I don't know. There was probably some like caramel on a stick thing that they used to have that I didn't like. Oh, I cannot do candy corn. I absolutely cannot do candy corn and circus peanuts. I cannot do. I've
I'm with you
thrown
on.
up on both of those, and I cannot do those
I'm with you
for
on
the
circus
rest of my
peanuts.
life.
I don't get those, but I will say this, and this I know it's a hot take. I love candy corn for the first handful. And then after that, I am fucking done for the rest of the year. Like, oh yeah, these are good. Then I'm like, oh yeah, there's a reason. Like, I don't know what it is. I do like candy corn, but after like, I mean, whatever a handful
Oof,
might be, 10 or 12, I'm like,
oof,
all right, this is too much. But
oof,
I actually don't mind. I will
oof.
say this, like you, the chocolates, I was Milky Way, Kit Kats,
Yeah.
but I always traded away my Reese's. I do not like Reese's. The chocolate and peanut butter,
Oh,
I've never liked them.
why? Why,
I hate it.
Chad? Do you have some sort of peanut butter
Hey,
chocolate? You have a problem with peanut butter chocolate?
Yes, I do. I do. I just don't like
Oh,
it. I don't.
God.
I don't.
Soto, it's
From,
okay for some people to be wrong sometimes, okay?
yes,
Just
as
let
you
them be
said last
wrong.
week. So wrong.
You know what, Mel? I am trying to grow as a person, so I
It
agree
only
with you
took 44
100%.
years.
Chad, I accept you, regardless
If
of
you're right or wrong.
if you're right or wrong. Period.
Oh my, yeah, it's fine. I
Nothing
accept it
else to
because
say.
I get shit on it for the racist thing all the time. So I'm used to it. There's nothing new that I understand. People are going to come with their pitchforks and torches. I get it, and I will
The peanut
accept
butter
it.
cups? You don't like the peanut butter cups,
None of
really?
them. None of them. Nope.
Oh my god, I could destroy a whole
Well,
bag of Reese's Minis peanut butter
so
cups, man.
let me explain the story because
Oh,
I don't know if I
it's
ever
like
told you the
protein
story.
too.
And some people, so when I was a kid, E.T. came out. We know that's your favorite film.
Yes,
But anyhow,
I
E.T. came
love
out, and
ET.
if anyone remembered, well, the whole thing was Reese's Pieces with E.T. Get him, to move from one place to another. And I used to eat Reese's Pieces nonstop. And one time, I think my grandma was
Oh,
watching me, and I had like a bag of Reese's, and that night I threw the fuck up everywhere, like all over the bed.
oh, you did tell
Next
me this
night,
story.
I'm like, okay, I'm fine because I kind of knew, and I ate another bag of Reese's, and I threw up again. So for some reason, it's embedded somewhere in the back of my mind, and every now and then, something like, and I try, I'm like, no, no, I don't. I like peanut butter. I love peanut butter. I like peanut butter and jelly, great. Peanut butter and crackers, great. Obviously, I love chocolate. Two of them together, I don't. And people are like, "You're weird. You're wrong." I'm like, "Well, you're right. I will accept the weird part." I guess I got to accept the wrong part because no matter what soda will say I'm wrong. But that is why, yeah, that incident somehow has been in the back of my brain. And even if it's not Reese's, like you get like those wrapped up candies and stuff like that. Like I don't like it, and it somehow stems to that. So that is my story why I don't like Reese's, and I've tried it from time. I can't do it. So
I
anyhow,
understand that completely.
yeah.
Yes, Chad.
But
I think
like
your
you, the
opinion is
Starburst is
valid.
good. Did you say it's valid or
Yeah,
invalid?
you have a valid opinion.
I have a valid. Well, we all
Your
have
opinion
valid opinions.
is a
We matter.
treasure
Oh,
to me.
excuse me. We matter. Um, Mel Tengu, what about you? I know what were some of your favorite candies that you're looking forward to at Halloween? What were you excited about? Or not candies, maybe stories or.
Go ahead, Tinker.
Um, I don't know. I feel like just the basics for me, just like Snickers. You said 100 grand. I like the 100 grand a
Oh,
lot.
those
Oh,
are good.
good. That's good.
Yeah, Reese's, Kit Kat. Um, I think my favorite one though, I always like the whatchamacallit bars.
Yeah, I like
Mm.
those
Those ones
too.
are, yeah, those ones are
I used
really
to eat
good.
those for lunch at Blockbuster.
Cool.
I
I
would
Yeah,
should
always
they're.
work
pay
at
for it.
Blockbuster.
Sorry, Chad. I stole from Blockbuster sometimes.
Uh, didn't we all? Oh no.
Oh, just you.
Time.
Sorry, Chad.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean like
Chad.
Crunch
I mean,
bars
look,
and
I,
stuff.
I always knew that the candy would be off during inventory, so I mean, what's one piece of candy here and there? That didn't hurt nobody. I knew there was
Oh.
nobody gonna fucking follow up on that shit. We're just always gonna be short candy. Maybe a customer stole it. Maybe it was
Next
me.
week, Soto. We're like, where's Soto at? He's in jail. Blockbuster press charges.
The last blockbuster is going to
Oh.
come after us now. Like, damn
They
you.
blame
Mel.
you completely for the entire shutdown.
Mel,
of
I have
Blockbuster.
stories of me being really drunk and committing crimes
Well,
that I can't
Okay.
wait to
we're
tell
gonna
you
have a
about.
blockbuster podcast one day. That's definitely a future one, and it will. Yeah, we probably shouldn't, but we will. But anyhow,
I
Mel, what
hope
about?
Blockbuster doesn't find out.
When I was a kid, it was all about the M&Ms. I don't know why. Like it, I just loved my M&M. I mean, I liked Reese's.
I
I
still
liked
do.
anything chocolate, but
Yeah.
especially like dark chocolate. I loved Mounds
I'm big
bars
on
and
dark
stuff like
chocolate. I
that.
love that. Yeah.
But M&Ms, that was it. And if I was to go for, I started like I think middle school really hoping I'd get Twizzlers because started liking Twizzlers a lot, and of course I always liked Starburst, but M&Ms.
Hmm.
You know, the only thing Twizzlers for me is that they just don't taste like anything. They're like kind of just like waxy. I don't know. I never got like Sarah loves Twizzlers. I just don't get it.
Have you ever had a red vine?
Yeah, I've had a red vine.
Do you prefer those? So you prefer those to Twizzlers,
If I had
or
to
do you hate, or do you
choose,
just hate both? Let me rephrase.
no, I don't hate red vines. They're not very. It seems like they should be more flavorful than they are. And I know that there
I,
have been other flavors of red vines that have come out. They're like all like these new like flavors and shit. But Twizzlers to me is like I don't know. Like I love things that like. This is gonna sound really weird, but I like things that are like that. The color red, they tend to taste good to me. I'm not trying to say I
I'm the
eat
same way.
crayons,
That makes sense.
You're like that Kit Kat
but like
wrapper right there.
like cherry. Like I love cherry anything. I like cherry
Hmm.
Starburst. It's like if I see red, I'm like, ooh, that probably gonna like that. But it just seems that Twizzlers should be more sugary than they are. I've always been confused.
Right.
I feel like I should like them more than I do.
I
I was
get
a
it.
big fan of Twizzlers. I never liked red vines, but I was a big fan of Twizzlers
I don't
as
like
well.
red vines at all.
Yeah, no,
But speaking of red, I started thinking of like nerds. I really like the red nerds and
Oh,
the
so good.
purple nerds. Purple was the other color that I'm always into.
Because you could just break open that box of nerds and just pour it straight in your mouth, and it is just a party.
Mm-hmm.
I will
The
say,
Pop Rocks. Oh my gosh, if
oh,
you got
Pop
Pop
Rocks.
Rocks,
Everyone, yes, Pop Rocks are great. Oh my God, they used to be a
Well,
corner
Tengu,
store.
I still have to. Tengu, I have to ask you: are you eating candy now? You're still eating candy, right?
I don't know. He's seen a lot of work. He might be candy scared.
Like I haven't really eaten a lot of chocolate or like candy like that much anymore. Just with all the sugar and everything.
Yeah, no, it's a good
Yeah.
but
point.
he
It's a
likes
good
his
point.
ice cream.
I do like ice
Ooh,
cream.
I mean, ice cream is for all ages, unless you
This
have
is
diabetes, then you shouldn't have it.
this is true. I mean,
Or
everyone.
lactose.
All right. Well, I know.
Or
All right. So,
that.
well, hold on. I know it's on Halloween theme, but since we're talking about ice cream right now, real quick, favorite ice cream flavor, Tango. Since we, what's your, right now?
Cookies and cream.
That's a good one. Mel,
If it's from Mayfield's, the chocolate chip. If it's from anything else, then Moose Tracks.
I've never done loose tracks. What about you, Soto?
Just plain strawberry.
Just plain. I've never liked strawberry ice cream. I don't get it. And I'm sorry, not to get into.
It's
I'm
okay
just.
for us to have different opinions,
I
Jeff.
and we're.
I don't like it either.
I
I like it.
And I'm okay with
you know
everyone.
what? The Neapolitan ice creams that have the chocolate vanilla strawberry. The strawberry one's always left over for me.
Oh,
So
the
I
Yeah,
ain't
chocolate one's
touching
so
that
good.
shit.
And
Like
it goes
chocolate ice cream is
frostbit. You
weird.
have to throw it away
Pretty
No,
much.
every
strawberry ice
single
cream is
time.
awesome.
I always
I
remember the
think that's
Simpsons
why they.
episodes.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it really was.
I think that's why they started
Simpsons
making
do it.
just the chocolate and vanilla
Oh
ice
yeah.
cream instead of adding the
I've never
Oh.
been like a big
strawberry.
chocolate ice cream guy. Like chocolate ice cream is, unless there's like pieces of some bullshit in it. I've never just eaten plain chocolate ice cream. That's just
I did as a
vanilla.
kid.
Honestly, is like my second favorite. So I am the most boring ice cream person, but I do like it. If I was to get crazy, I did like fish food from Ben and Jerry's for a while, but you really can't like eat a whole pint. Like it's not good for you. And I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, I think we all did. You know, those little Ben and Jerry
Oh, just
pints.
crush one. Just watch a movie and just be like, oh,
You're like,
it fits in
this
my
is
hand.
my
I should
life
eat the
right
whole
now.
thing. I used to be
We're
able to eat
adults.
pizzas, eat pints of ice cream. Now I'm like, ooh, my cholesterol.
Oh. Well, so anyhow, I know going back to scary movies. I know we talked about the Mount Rushmore recently. We are not reliving that, rehashing that. Next week,
Sure.
we are going to talk about the scary scenes, some of the actual scary scenes as an adult, because I know in that video Mel brought up Poltergeist. So yeah, next Wednesday, that's going to be our main topic. But I want to ask, what was the either like the first scary movie you saw, or more importantly, what was the first movie that scared you that you can remember? Um, yeah, so not maybe the first scary movie, but when you're as a kid, you're sneaking, those scary movies and stuff like that. You're trying to. What was the first movie that you can remember that scared you? So Mel, we'll start with you. If you can remember? What do you think?
I kind of have to because, like, for
Go ahead.
me, it wasn't the first movie; it was the first scene, which is the stupid clown in Poltergeist. That scared me. But then, in high school, I never really got scared over things like that. But in high school, I was sitting at the house, and it was on like A&E or something, and it was just the ending of the old school, not like the newer one, the Woman in Black or Lady in Black or whatever. I think Woman in Black is what it is. Not the one with Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, but the
Mm-hmm.
older version. And she was just standing on the side of the lake looking, and then a tree came down and hit the boat, and you didn't know what happened. But it was something about this one scene. It terrified me. And here I am in high school, and I just booked it right out of there and went coming across the street to my parents, who was talking to my neighbors. And I was like, hey, how's it going? How's it going? How you doing? How you doing? And they're like, what's wrong? I was like, I just seen a really scary scene on TV. I'm just going to hang out here. And they were all kind of laughing because they're not used to that with me. Like I said, the only thing that ever scared me was Poltergeist. And so but that one right there scared me more than Poltergeist or anything.
Yeah, that one I don't know. I agree with you on Poltergeist, though. That clown was scary. For me, more of the scary movies talking about Poltergeist was when that closet door opened and tried to suck them all in.
Mm.
I remember that was always scary. And then when the mom was swimming with the skeletons, which became more scary to me as an adult when I found out that those are real skeletons. That
Yeah.
they did not tell
Yeah.
that the actress they went cheap and got some
That's
real.
fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, so I was like, now that's actually scary. To think that a movie studio could do that. But that scene and the tree coming in. But what about you, Tango? What was the first scary movie that you can remember, or the first movie that scared you?
I can't really. I mean, there was there was that one scene in Pee-wee's Big Adventure that scared the crap out of me.
Oh
Is
my
it
God,
Large
Large
Marge?
Marge.
Yeah, it was Large Marge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of like movies, because I can't remember. Does Ernest Scared Stupid count?
Did
Oh
it? If it
God.
scared you, it
I wish it
counts.
was around. I wish I could find it.
Yeah. I mean, at least like parts of it like scared me. I remember. Um, because like a lot of the like Freddy Krueger stuff, I just remember like even seeing like 5 seconds of anything like that like scared me a lot as a kid.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was probably Ernest Scared Stupid. I think
I
is
can't
at
remember
least
Ernest.
something that I watched like from at least beginning to end.
Oh, what about you, Soto? What was the first scary movie, or what was the first movie that scared you?
I would have to probably say, I mean, it's boring, but like Nightmare on Elm Street, I did see it. That's like my first memory. And the reason was, I mean, shit, it came out in the mid 80s. I was like 4 or 5 years old when I saw it. It's, by the way, way too early to watch that movie. Um, watch that movie at 5 or 6 years old is not a vibe. But we would have babysitters, and they were these cute 14-year-old girls. And at the time, I could say that because I was 6 and they were 14. But I had crushes on them. And when they would think I was asleep, they would start watching these horror movies with their friends and shit like that. And I would sneak downstairs and I'd poke my fucking head around and I'd watch them watching Nightmare on Elm Street. And I just thought it was scary as fuck. And it damaged me. And when Johnny Depp got sucked into the bed, I never
Hmm.
trusted what was under the bed anymore. Um,
That was a
yeah, there's a
waterbed,
lot.
wasn't it?
He was like, I think it's a waterbed. He was watching
Yeah.
like TV on his stomach with headphones on, and it was just very uncomfortable. And then when he gushed out blood, it was just ridiculous. So that traumatized me for a few years. I didn't think that I hadn't been scared by movies since then until I saw this movie Fire in the Sky later when I was in around
I
9 or
remember
10.
that
Fire in
movie.
the Sky was fucking terrifying.
I remember that movie.
Like I can't even like if it's on now, I'm like I'm not watching this. Like this is ridiculous. Because the only that and Arachnophobia are the only two scary movies that I'm like, nope, I will not watch that. If Arachnophobia is on, I'm like, I'm not watching this. This
I
is
totally
not
forgot
anything
about
like.
arachnophobia.
I'm not watching this on TV. This will summon a fucking spider on me. Like I'm not gonna watch spider related shit. Because then when I'm distracted, someone's gonna come up on me from the cut. So arachnophobia, no, and also Fire in the Sky. But first one will always be Nightmare on Elm Street.
Dude, I talked to a therapist over arachnophobia,
Oh
and
no,
I've completely,
no, no,
totally
no,
forgot about
hell no,
arachnophobia because I don't.
hell no.
Ugh, yeah, I'm terrified of
That's
spiders.
too real. That's too real. That's too real for
And
me.
the wolf spiders that are in this area,
Oh yeah, we have them in New Hampshire too.
Oh my god, no. Like, and I would go. I remember living down in next to the lake, and we had like the woods behind us and
Oh fuck
woods in
that.
front of us and lake to the. I mean, we literally. I have taken friends down to do some night swimming, and they're like, "This looks like Crystal Lake." That's exactly what it's like. But you would like
Dock
pull back your
spiders.
covers, and there would be a dangling wolf spider the
Yep.
size of your freaking hand stretched
Oh, they're
out in
huge.
your
Oh,
bed.
they're fucking huge.
And like I'm terrified of spiders. Even now, like I can sit here and tell you, there's probably about 80 spiders in my house, and I don't even freaking know about it because I live in the woods. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. I hate it.
Yep. Not a fan. So that movie sucks ass.
Hmm.
Well, I know I've told this story a few times to Soto every time we talk about sort of movies. And, my dad had HBO when I was growing up, and I saw a lot of movies early that I probably never should have seen. And the first one isn't a movie that scared me, and I'll explain why. Probably because I was 8, maybe 9, and we were watching The Shining. And it wasn't the fact that it didn't scare me. I liked it more as an older teen. I just didn't fucking get it. Like, what was going on? I remember the two creepy girls. Obviously the the bloodbath down the hall, so to speak. And but overall, like I couldn't stay focused on
Iconic.
the movie because a lot of the middle scenes just obviously were more psychological. And when you're 8 or 9, you don't want that shit. So I was just like, I didn't get why it was so popular. I got it more later in life, but then it didn't scare me as a kid. But that's just because I think I just tuned out. But the first movie I kind of vaguely remember scaring me, weirdly enough, again, probably 9, 10, was a movie called, and I don't even know if it's good. It was called The Howling. And we were watching it
Oh,
late night.
a lot of movies
And
in that series.
yeah, there is. And
Yeah.
all I remember is because, I have two sisters, one who's growing up was big into horror movies. Like that was her thing. The other one, for lack of a better term, she was a princess. The one you met, Soto, she was always scared. And we were watching it, and at first
Oh,
it got
she's funny.
scarier, and she was freaked, and even I was getting to the point of freaked out. Again, mind you, how old we were, and my dad had to turn off more for her sake, but I'm like, I'm kind of glad this happened because I was getting to that point, like, I don't know if I can do this movie anymore because it scared the shit out of me. I don't even remember much. I just remember again, 80s, I mean, I'm sure it's cheesy to see nowadays, but back then as a kid, yeah, that freaked me out. And I was kind of glad. I'm like, yeah, it's okay, Tiff. No, we're not going to watch this. We'll put on something happy. And inside, I'm like, yeah, that was getting to me too. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, I've saw way too many movies young that I shouldn't have, and maybe like Soto jokes about, maybe that's why we're messed up a little bit. But,
Oh, 100%.
but
That's why we're here.
oh my God, but yeah, it's funny because what was it, 2 years ago we did that video about the scariest movie you've ever seen, and both of you right there, Fire in the Sky and Arachnophobia. Um, those are both your answers. Though I'm gonna kind of deviate. Soto just saw The Conjuring, which I know that was
I did.
Tengu's scariest movie, if I recall correctly, right? That you talked about the clapping game, if I remember. Because
Oh
I never
yeah,
saw
that
it.
shit is kind of creepy. When the arms come out of like the boudoir, whatever the fuck that was, the dresser. It
What
opens it
makes
up in
that so
two.
scary is that it's based on truth.
Well, how much truth
Sorry.
though? I don't know much about The Conjuring. Obviously, I've not looked into it or seen it.
Well, it's a whole universe, so now I have to go down this whole rabbit hole of fucking Conjuring 2 and The Nun and fucking Annabelle and all sorts of nonsense. I watched the Ghost Adventures episode that was at the Harrisville farmhouse, season 22, episode 1, if anybody's interested. Um, and yeah, I mean, I'd always known about the whole Ed and Lorraine Warren thing because they talked about it on Ghost Adventures like all the fucking time. And they kept referencing it. So when I saw them in a movie, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting. And then I was wondering why it was the dad in Insidious in The Conjuring, but then it's the same director who did both. So I don't know, that kind of threw me off because I just saw Insidious for the first time. I was doing nothing but watching scary movies this whole month.
Well, what about you, Mel and Tengu? Have you watched any new scary movies this month? Yet?
Uh, what have we watched? What was it? The Hold Your Breath or something? That was
Yeah,
the
it's
last
about the
one we
dust.
watched.
It has Sarah Paulson in it. That's really good. Is that how you say your name, Paulson?
Yeah.
Oh
Pauls?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
yeah, we did. That was a really good one, but I don't think it's scary.
Yeah.
It was more to me like a psychological thing. Um,
And, and
and
then we watched
then
The Omen.
oh gosh, the new Omen. Like, there's a scene in there where I'm like, oh my god, it's pervy, but it's nasty, and it's not really pervy. It's not pervy. It's
No.
oh, somebody could get hurt. It's childbirth, but it's very up close, and I
It's like
laughed
magic.
so
In a
freaking
movie.
hard, like but at the same time, I about puked because it was just too close. And then we watched
Wow.
Yeah.
the Immaculate. I
Immaculate.
didn't
Yeah.
like that one either. I didn't like either the Omen or the Immaculate. They both were just kind of like carbon copies of each other,
It was a
but one
little
of them
weird how they
didn't
were
have.
kind of the same.
Yeah, one of them didn't have
Yeah.
the thing.
It's like Armageddon and Deep Impact.
And then
Oh
I
my
watched
god.
Bodies with Pete Davidson. And let me tell you, this is one of those movies that when you sit down to watch it, like if you look at the reviews, it seems like the people who stopped halfway is like, man, this movie's so stupid, it sucks, and blah blah blah. But the people who finished was like, whoa, that was fucking good, you know. And I will tell you, like while you're watching it, you're just like, I hope all these people die because they're that fucking annoying, and you're just like, please let them die. But then when you get to the end of it, that twist, you're just like, holy shit. And you don't see it coming. And I always play on my phone during like anything. And at one point, I put my phone down, and it was about the halfway point, and I just could not stop watching. So I
Wow.
think Bodies was my favorite out of all of them, just because of that ending. You know, and I watch horror movies every chance you get. Like I'm about to sit down and watch Pumpkinhead again. Oh, and I have been watching a TV show called Grotesserie, Grotesquerie, whatever. It's on
Yeah.
FX. I am so fucking confused. I don't even know what the fuck is going. At first, I was like, okay, this kind of reminds me of Seven. You guys remember Seven
Oh,
with
love Seven.
Brad
Yeah.
Pitt?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, this kind of reminds me of this, but you know, it's actually really good. And then we got to this one episode, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And there was this one point where this girl was like showing her going back and forth from being cool to like normal to demon possession to normal, and I was like, wow, that girl deserves a fucking Emmy for that. But then the rest of the show did not make any sense. And then I watched another show the next night, and I was like, this makes no sense. None of this makes any sense. And so now I have to finish watching the freaking show just to get to the end of it, just so I could figure out what's going on. And I swear to you, if it goes into a season 2 and it doesn't tell me what's going on, I'm going to write a very stern letter to FX.
Stern.
Stern.
And
Very stern.
also, I'm about to start watching From because like I've seen all of them
Yeah.
up until this season, but I'm
Yeah.
waiting for more episodes to get out so then I can get it and I can watch the all at one time.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of comparisons to Lost for that show.
From is amazing. I love Lost, but my gosh, From is so good.
Well, it's
It is
funny that you
so
mentioned
good.
if they don't, resolve this by season 2, because I was just thinking about a couple series I used to watch as a kid, and I know one of them, majority of you probably know, Tales from the Crypt. I mean, I say series, but
Yes.
I used to watch Tales from the Crypt all the time because each episode at least was its own thing, so
Yeah.
you didn't have to worry about
Mm-hmm.
next week. But there's a series I loved, and I don't know if you guys knew it existed or even heard of it. Do you know there was a Friday the 13th the series?
Yes,
I
I own
feel
it.
like I'm aware of it.
No
Yeah, I
Never
Jason
feel
for
saw
like
it
it's
I
though.
no
know.
Jason Voorhees.
It's
It
not
has
Jason.
nothing to do with Jason.
Mm-mm.
But I loved it, and it was on Netflix like years ago, and I tried to start binging it, and then I forgot about it, and I can't get it anywhere. But the concept is so great because it's basically like this antique store, and obviously they hear stories about this antique and the horror stories, and they have to go, like most TV shows, solve it. But I used to watch that all the time. It has nothing to do with Jason Voorhees or the movies. They just namesake alone. But yeah, I loved it. But I like those one episode shows. I'm like, I don't want to worry about season twos. Just give me the scary stories now. But I loved it. That was one of my
Well,
favorites growing
sitting
up.
down as an adult watching the Friday the 13th, because we bought it all on its on DVD.
I'm sure it's
And I
bad
think
now.
Walmart, yeah. No, it's actually really
Oh,
good.
was it?
Like Walmart, well, I think Walmart has it. But anyway, we sat down to watch it, and I think I've made it halfway through. I need to finish watching it. But I was just like, this is better than I remember it. And it was like, now that you're an adult, like you understand a lot more of it. And so I definitely recommend you watching it again
Oh,
as an
if I
adult.
can find it, I will, because I remember the three main characters, and I know what happened. I won't ruin it for you, just in case, but I know what happened to one of the characters, um, who left the show 2.5 seasons in, because there's only 3 seasons to that show, if I remember correctly.
Right.
So there's certain episodes I still remember, but I think the chemistry between the three, and especially the main woman, and I think I forget if they're cousins. I think they're loosely related, um, the girl and the guy. But yeah, no, I loved it. It was a great series from what I can remember, but I don't remember too much. But yeah, I loved it. But yeah, Tales from the Crypt also popped in my head. I'm like, I remember that show,
I
Crypt
know
Great
Keeper.
that
show.
too.
So all
And then,
right,
do you remember the Creep Show and
Oh
Tales from
yeah.
the Dark Side or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Those were
Yep.
good too.
Tales from Dark Side. That opening, I couldn't even. I mean, that shit would scare the fuck out of me. I'd be
Now I'm
like, nope,
trying
not
to
sleeping tonight.
remember. Was that the one? Was the Dark Side one? Was that the one with the lake and they were on the floating dock?
Oh, with the tar thing that's trying to eat them.
Yeah.
I
Was that
don't
the
know
Dark Side one?
which one that is, but I mean that is also a horrifying movie I saw when I was a kid, or part of a movie I saw when that tar thing is just trying to eat them on that
Yeah.
little dock thing. Oh my god,
I remember as a kid going, "Are they gonna get off? Why don't they just like run
they
over the
died.
top of the tar?" Yeah, I know. I
Spoiler
was
alert.
like, I was coming up with things like, why don't they just jump off and run on top of it? It would be okay. Wait a minute,
So
would their
it was a
foot get stuck?
mysterious blob that just
I know.
was horrifying. Oh god.
Oh man.
Anyways,
it's going back. Did you guys ever see the Tales from the Crypt movies? Demon Knight or
Yes.
Bordello of Blood?
Oh my
I've heard
God.
Demon
Demon
Knight's
Knight
pretty good.
Demon Knight
was
is
so.
actually
I mean,
good. Billy Zane was great in that. Bordello of
yes.
Blood is not
Of
as good,
course.
and that's starring Dennis Miller, so that should tell you something. I mean, I vaguely remember
No
it. I
thanks.
kind of really want to rewatch it, but that's like a bad bet. But Demon Knight was actually I liked it.
Really
From
good.
under
It
yeah
was really good. Yeah.
Billy
I
Zane,
didn't
say
like the
less.
other one, but I liked that one. I
yeah.
mean, it's just really good.
But all right, I think that'll probably do it for today. Any last questions any of you want to bring up about memories of Halloween growing up or anything like that? Because I know next week we're gonna have a lot to talk about with scary scenes. So, and Soto, you kind of brought up one of mine with the Johnny Depp one, by the way.
I
That's a
actually
scary
do want
scene.
to know.
Yep.
Did you guys ever go egging or rolling
Yes,
during Halloween?
the
Yeah,
first
I
one.
did too. Yeah.
I never did the egging thing. I lived on like a military base, so it was tough. Like you could
Yeah,
get shot.
you would
Yeah.
get your ass whooped.
When
Yeah,
I
like the
was a
military
kid,
police would shoot you.
we knocked on our neighbor's door and was like, "Hey, can we borrow some toilet paper?" And she was like, "Whose house are you gonna roll?" And we're like, "We don't know." And she was like, "Here, I'll give you 3 rows. Go roll my daughter's house." And that was the only time I had ever done it. But as an adult, my friend said I'd never been rolling or egging before, so I was like, "Well, come on, we'll take you." And I was gonna literally like throw some eggs at a driveway, roll a couple of mailboxes, something little. And as we were out, there was like all of these "Vote for George Bush" signs, and I started stealing them. And we made
Nice.
the news that night. That actually was like they said that we were doing like political statements by egging and rolling driveways and mailboxes and stealing the signs.
Oh my
And
god.
after that, I was like, we can't ever do this. We need to do something with these signs. So we took them to this apartment complex of somebody who, it was a city commissioner who owned the apartment complex. And he was like a slumlord. And so we put all of those signs in his front yard of his apartment complex.
Nice.
Yeah,
He was like a
great
slumlord.
times.
Wow.
He
Yeah,
was.
I don't think I've ever
Little slumber
TP'd a
bug.
house or anything like that, but I definitely egged. And I remember one of the first times, um, one of the friends he had a pool and we were there, and he hated his family hated the neighbors for some reason. I don't remember. So he grabbed a few eggs and we literally egged his house, his neighbor's house from their backyard. And I just remembered watching because it was a hot day and those eggs started cooking on top of the roof. Like you were like it was sizzling.
Oh no!
I'm not.
Such delicious treats to waste.
It was, but yeah, that's I'm like, damn, is it really that hot out? But yeah, I've only done
It
that
doesn't
a
take
few
a lot,
times.
man.
No, it definitely doesn't.
You just look at
We
eggs and
had
they're done.
we had a slingshot that like my friend, I
Ooh.
don't know if he made it or if he bought it, but you could put the slingshot in and pull back really far. I think it was for water balloons, and he would let it go, and we were aiming for 2 streets over the Alcoa Police Department.
Wow,
We're so
love it.
bad. And we hit it. We hit it. We took out their car. I'm going to get arrested. Somebody just randomly is going to listen to this podcast, and I'm going to get arrested because of Soto and Chad allowing me to speak right now. But yeah. Yeah,
We're not,
sorry.
all right.
Crimes.
Maybe we'll end it before the
We
crimes
used to
start
steal
being
Turn to a
committed.
podcast. Crime podcast. Nice.
We used to steal
True
pumpkins, and we had one person's house. We always put all the pumpkins up.
These feel
And
like
we put 'em
victimless
on our-
crimes to me.
We put them on our front porch, and the front porch ended up caving in because there was so many pumpkins. I have to tell you all
What?
those stories one day.
Property
we
damage.
we got this one pumpkin that was so big. The owner stood there and watched us steal it. At that point, we were already in it. And he just let us take it because I think he was wanting somebody to take it so he wouldn't have
Yeah.
It's
to
like, I don't know what I'm going to do
Did
with
him
this
a favor.
anyways.
Yeah, you're like,
It
cool.
dented-
Somebody's taking my trash.
It dented the side of my truck. Like, we were just horrible people. We even went to this church and we didn't realize what the little crosses were for. And we stole them all and put them in this person's front yard that lived next to the church.
What the
Like,
fuck? I love
We
it.
we're horrible people. I now
Mel's
know why I'm being
confessions.
punished every day. I'm being punished. I mean, and the thing is the person's yard we were doing it is the same person's porch. It was my friend's mom's yard.
Wow.
And so we caved her porch in. We'd steal everybody's Halloween decorations on that whole street and put them in her yard.
Does she know this?
Yes.
She does now.
Oh, okay, all right. I was like, 'cause she might. Oh, don't worry about. No one listens to these.
This is true, but no one's going to last to the end, and it's not like I'm going to clip this part anyways.
If they do, it was meant to be. You know what I mean?
They deserve to know the truth that they lied.
Yeah, if it was due, you get arrested, then you had it coming. Because nobody's staying to the end.
She always had a good sense of humor, but there was just one point where she was like, "No more, no more."
She had to
And
set
we're
some
like,
fucking
"Okay."
boundaries.
All right, before Mel admits any more crimes, we should probably end this. But yeah, so next week we are going to do scary scenes. So what I need from all three of you during any time, hopefully by Monday, give me some ideas. Text me some ideas just so I can get some pictures and shit like that.
Hell yeah.
But no, thank you for joining us. You know, it was kind of fun going down memory lane, even though Soto didn't want to hit that one memory, but that's a discussion for another day.
No, I mean, that will make Mel's crimes. Like, so Mel's like crimes are funny and hilarious. Mine are crimes.
Oh, I have some of those too, Soto. We'll talk someday.
Well, I was more
She's
talking
like,
about
"Oh, it's in
October
my
20.
bucket."
I was more
I
talking
know
about the
what
October
not to put on
27th
Twitter.
date. But,
That's what I'm saying. I was like, if I bring
Well-
it that, no, that we committed crimes that evening.
Yeah.
well,
I did. Okay, Chad, I did. All right. Is
No,
that what you
no,
want me
But
to
you
do?
don't talk about this stuff unless it's been more than 10 years. I found that
it
out.
has. It has.
It has
Okay,
been more
good.
than 10 years. The place that it even happened, it doesn't even exist anymore.
Now it closed because of COVID.
One of the two places. The Greek Orthodox Church does
Oh.
still exist.
Oh, yes, that was scary
And
as shit.
the National
God,
Police
no,
Department still exists.
That was a Halloween movie waiting to happen right there. But anyhow,
Oh.
Mel, Tengu,
Yeah.
thanks for joining us, having fun in this conversation.
Thanks for having us.
Oh no, we'll have you again next week, and we'll have a more scary talk. But yeah, until next time.
Scary.
if there's anything we can tell you kids or anyone listening, don't be like Mel and Soto. Don't commit crimes.
No crimes.
No crimes.
Don't commit
And
crimes,
then
kids.
20 years later, you're going to be cracking up about.
I thought when Mel was like, "Have you ever
gone?
Mel was like, "Have you gone eggs and roll it?" I'm like, "You were doing ecstasy when you were younger? What the fuck?" I was like, "What do they do down there in the South? Outside the Kentucky Derby? Are you crazy?" Did you guys ever do E when you were little kids? Yeah, I did. My mom put it in my fucking coffee.
I'm crying.
Drink coffee?
It's in
I was
the
already
chocolates,
doing E.
and you do not eat the chocolates.
That's what those footstone bottoms were.
Yeah, exactly. 10 million strong
And
growing and rolling.
Well, I've never heard anyone calling TPing rolling. That's why I was like, wait, rolling?
That's why I was like,
it took me a
ecstasy?
second.
That was the first thing that I thought. I was like, drugs? We talking about drugs right now? Cool.
All right, we're gonna end this before. I guess don't do crimes, don't do drugs. That's what we just learned at the last 10 minutes of this conversation. Well, I could bail Soto out if need be. I ain't driving to Tennessee to bail someone out. Sorry, Mel.
It's a bit of a haul. Yeah.
All right, see you guys next week.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Later.